Ever feel like you're constantly trying to catch up with the latest discoveries and make sense of it all? Yeah, it could be a lot to process, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's what we're here for, to make those deep dives a little easier.
absolutely. And today, we're going deep, literally, into a cave in Guerrero, Mexico, where some pretty incredible ritual offerings were just uncovered.
Ritual offerings, you say. Sounds intriguing already. Tell me more. What have we got to work with here? Some ancient scrolls, lost diaries, maybe a talking parrot.
Haha, well, not quite. Our main source material is a fascinating article from Heritage Daily. It details this recent find that sheds light on, well, an extinct civilization we know as the Tlacotepehua people.
The Tlacotepehua people. Okay. So what's the mission for this deep dive? What are we hoping to uncover?
I'd say our goal is to take a closer look at these artifacts, try to decipher what they tell us about this culture, their beliefs, their practices, and why they chose this specific cave as a place of, well, significance.
Perfect. Let's get to it then. So how did this discovery even come about? Was it a planned excavation, or did some unsuspecting long a trip over a priceless artifact?
It's actually even more interesting than that. Two explorers, Adrian Beltran Dimas and Yekaterina Katia Pavlova, were actually mapping caves in the mountains of Guerrero.
Oh, wow. So not archaeologists on a
I
dig, but explorers charting new territory. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. They were mapping the cave systems, doing their thing, and they reached what they thought was the lowest level of this cave, Tlayócoc Cave.
Tlayócoc Cave, got it.
Right. And there they found a submerged opening, a passage that led to a completely unexplored chamber.
Like something out of an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, kind of. And inside this chamber, carefully placed on stalagmites, were these offerings. Shell bracelets, a giant snail shell bracelet even, and black stone discs that look a lot like pyrite mirrors.
Okay, stop right there. Carefully placed, you said. That right there tells you this wasn't just random stuff that ended up there, right? This was intentional. And the location itself, this hidden chamber, makes you think it was a space set apart for a reason, yeah.
You're absolutely right. And this is where the context of Mesoamerican culture comes in. The article reminds us that caves held a very special, sacred meaning for many cultures in this region.
Like portals to another world. It mentions Mictlan, the underworld in the article. It kind of makes sense to think of these underground spaces as connecting points between the world we know and the realm of the dead.
That's definitely a big part of it. But it's not just about death. Caves were also seen as the source of life, the place where it all began.
I see, like a wellspring of life.
Exactly. Think about it. Water often flows from caves, and many ancient stories talk about life emerging from the earth. So caves represent both endings and beginnings, life and death. It's a pretty powerful duality, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. And not to mention, these caves were seen as the dwelling places of powerful beings. Gods, ancestors, spirits connected to the elements, fertility of the land. It's no wonder people would choose these places to leave offerings.
Absolutely. So let's actually take a look at what they found in this cave. Archaeologists from the INAH, that's the National Institute of Anthropology and History, have cataloged 14 artifacts.
14 artifacts. Okay, so not a huge number, but I guess it's more about the quality than the quantity, right? What exactly did they find?
Well, for starters, there are these shell bracelets. 3 of them are complete, and there's also a fragment of another one. Then there's this giant sea snail shell, likely from the Strombus genus. It must have been quite a sight.
Oh, I can imagine. A giant sea snail shell deep inside a cave. Talk about a statement piece.
Right. And Strombus shells were often seen as symbols in Mesoamerican cultures, often associated with deities related to wind, water, and fertility. So bringing one deep into a cave, that must have carried some serious weight, symbolically speaking.
Yeah, definitely. So what else?
Well, we also have a piece of charred wood and fragments of 8 stone discs. 2 of the discs are whole, thankfully. These black stone discs, they're especially interesting because they resemble pyrite mirrors.
Mirrors in a cave. What do you make of that?
Well, mirrors in this context were often associated with divination, with seeing beyond the ordinary world, like peering into the spiritual realm. Pretty fascinating stuff.
So each of these objects seems to have its own symbolic meaning. And speaking of symbolism, the shell bracelets also have these intricate engravings, don't they?
That's right. They're decorated with anthropomorphic faces in profile and these abstract designs. Things like sonaculis, zigzags, and circles.
Sonacuли, what are those exactly?
They're these twisting, almost serpentine motifs, often associated with movement, the flow of energy, the cyclical nature of life, and things like that.
Oh, I see. And the faces, you think they might represent deities, ancestors, maybe figures from their myths?
It's definitely possible. And this is where things get really interesting. According to Miguel Perez from INAH, these symbols and figures likely relate to pre-Hispanic cosmology, particularly their ideas about creation and fertility.
Wow, so these bracelets weren't just, pretty jewelry. It's like they were portable narratives, a way to carry their beliefs and stories with them, almost like visual representations of their worldview.
That's a really great way to put it. And we can't forget about the stalagmites in this chamber. The article mentions that they appear to have been deliberately reshaped into spherical forms. That's not something that happens naturally in a cave.
Definitely not. So they intentionally modified the cave environment, which was already a sacred space to begin with. What do you think that means?
Well, the spherical shape is often associated with things like celestial bodies, the cosmos as a whole, the cyclical nature of time. Maybe by reshaping these stalagmites, they were creating a microcosm of the universe right there inside the cave.
That's fascinating. So we've got these offerings, a modified cave environment, but who exactly were the people behind all of this? The article identifies them as the Tlacotepehua, an extinct group. Fill us in. What do we know about them?
Well, much of what we know comes from archaeological evidence like this. They lived in this region, and based on the offerings, the estimated time frame is the post-classic period, which is roughly from AD 950 to the arrival of the Spanish in 1521.
Okay, so they were around at the same time as other well-known Mesoamerican civilizations like the Aztecs, right?
That's right.
All right, so let's try to piece this all together. We've got these offerings, shells, stone, wood, each with their own symbolic meaning, found in a cave that was clearly considered sacred, a gateway to the underworld, a source of life. And all of this points to the Tlacotepehua people who lived in this region during the post-classic period. What can we conclude from all of this?
Well, I think the fact that they went to such lengths to reach this chamber, navigate that submerged passage, carefully place these offerings, and even reshape the stalagmites, it suggests a very intentional act of communication, or maybe veneration directed at the deities or forces they believed inhabited these deep primal realms.
And those engravings on the shell bracelets, if they really do depict aspects of their creation, myths and beliefs about fertility, it's almost like they were leaving behind visual prayers, like tangible expressions of their deepest beliefs.
Yeah, I like that. Visual prayers. It really makes you think about the effort involved. Reaching this chamber, carefully selecting and preparing the offerings, the act of leaving them there. It speaks volumes about the importance they placed on this site and the rituals performed there. This wasn't something they did lightly.
Absolutely. And the fact that this chamber was so inaccessible, only reachable through that submerged passage, makes you think it was a highly sacred space, maybe restricted to only certain individuals like priests or shamans.
It's very possible.
So if we put it all together, this discovery in Tlayócoc Cave gives us a pretty amazing glimpse into the ritual practices and beliefs of the Tlacotepehua people. It highlights how important caves were to them, how they saw them as gateways to other realms, sources of life, and places of power. And the artifacts themselves, with their symbolism and careful placement, hint at a complex understanding of the universe and the forces at play within it.
I think you summed it up perfectly. And even though we only have these 14 artifacts, they offer so much insight into this lost civilization. It's incredible how these seemingly simple objects can reveal so much about their spiritual beliefs and worldview.
It really is. And it makes you wonder what else might be out there waiting to be discovered. The article specifically mentions this was the lowest level of the cave, a previously unexplored chamber. So who knows what other secrets might be hidden in these caves just waiting to be uncovered. It's exciting to think about what future discoveries might reveal and how they might change our understanding of the Tlacotepehua and other ancient cultures.
Couldn't agree more. There's so much we still don't know. And that's part of what makes archaeology and exploring these ancient mysteries so fascinating. It's like piecing together a giant puzzle, one artifact at a time.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe the next piece of the puzzle is just waiting around the corner, hidden deep within another unexplored cave.
And maybe, just maybe, it will completely change everything we thought we knew.
That's what makes it so exciting, right? The possibility of uncovering something that rewrites history, that challenges our assumptions about the past. It's a constant reminder that there's still so much to learn and explore.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for. To keep diving deep, keep asking questions, and keep searching for those hidden pieces of the puzzle.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been an enlightening journey into the world of the Tlacotepehua. Until next time, folks, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop digging for those fascinating pieces of the past.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big discovery.